All right, here we go again. Buckle up. Who knows what's ahead? God, that's who I guess. So, uh, so I set the mousetrap out, and I figured the thing will be dispatched when I find it. But first, I didn't realize it just grabbed it around the snout, and then I know when I went left and came back, I noticed the mousetrap had moved. I'm like, oh no. So I was like, I got to take this thing outside, which is kind of better. I'm glad it didn't kill it. I don't know how well it is after getting its snout caught, but I opened it up and I flung it about a few feet, and it does this. It starts running in this half circle, and then it stops, and it looks at me, and it was like, "You really put me out, bro. You put me out, bro. Is this it? It's over." I thought we were good. I thought there was an understanding. I don't know. I felt miserable about it, but I had to do it. Just health concerns. Otherwise, he could have stayed. He's on the refrigerator. I knew that. He would run from the refrigerator to the closet to the the what do they call it, the coat closet, that front closet, and then back to the refrigerator. It was what it was. Now you understand why I'm so angry at the fire department for ratchet. Spent years helping fire departments. In fact, I have the answer for all their operations. People that put you up to it can give a shit less, care less about it. It's like so stupid. Everybody runs towards the fire, right? After it's out of control. Simply position those assets. The fire would have been history. Right? Its initial phases, it would have been easy. So I'm not sure what's going on. I loosened up my shoulder, but I think I may have loosened it too much. I don't know if it tightens up or what's going on. They kept me cramped up. That was part of what that harassment was doing. It was blocking me from health care and massage therapy. So I stayed cramped up for another 3 years, at least partially. Right. Now my left shoulder is a little tighter. My right, I loaded my right shoulder up with magnesium oil just to relax it because I had all this pain in my back, which is it helped and it's gone. So I think once I get my massages and all that wears off and everything tightens back up to a useful tension, I think I'll be much better. I'm hoping to come out better than I've been for the last 3 years. So I really did come up with the answer years ago. Well, the more you kill me, the less my stuff gets out, the less my information finds way into people's minds. Kind of eating a quick burrito here. One of those bean and cheese, chimichangas. Like that, because I have been living a normal life for the last 3 years, most likely. Right. You people need to get serious and get rid of these scammers, whether in the government or in the private sector. Those operations are uncalled for, and they're designed to cause a person to fail into crime. And they use they use that to kill Jonathan Nichols. I'll tell you that right now. They used extreme psychological rendition that was not necessary, and it isn't like we're testing the victim. That's their scam. They're serial killers. They're disgusting filth. They tell you lies all day long about what they're doing. Yeah, I like those burritos way too much. At least they're small ones, and that way, not like 1,000 milligrams of sodium a setting. Those big burritos, that's what it's like. Right. So I get my blood pressure down real low, lower than it's ever been. Remember, I've been trying to get blood pressure medicine. They're like, no, no, you don't need it. You don't need it. Right. It's just the reading is off when you're going in because we got it down low. Right. So I get down lower than I've ever gotten it, and it's like you have stage one hypertension. I'm like, what? I like Walmart's best blood pressure cuff. It talks to you. Because it's the new standards. I don't know if does everybody use the new standards? Most people, I don't think, will give you medicine off of the new standard. Because theoretically, if you have 120 over what was it? I think I had one. I think actually, yeah, I think I had 120 over 80, and it tells you got high blood pressure. I'm like, what? I'm walking around with higher than that, and they won't give me medicine. Right. And again, I'm not even resting. I just sit down. It was like 120 over 80. And I'm like, pretty good. Right. Not good enough. Not good enough for your age. You ain't going to get much lower than that. And just one pill and a diet, like a diuretic slash blood pressure pill. Like it went down a little bit, within the first couple of days. I'm heavy too, and I haven't been walking. Right. And I got COVID. So COVID probably drove it up a bit. Right. When I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, it's not. It's a 120 over 80. And they're like, you have hypertension stage one. I'm like, what? But I think if I had it like, I think if you get to like 119 over 79, right, then you don't have it. I'm like by 1 point, I think it was. I got to keep an eye on it because I got to make sure it doesn't go down too low because I am starting to lose weight like I was supposed to. Well, they got me good. I was cramped up real tight, and I finally figured out. I said, "What's going on with my?" And then I figured it out. I launched a massage. I spent like $1,000 on a massage, and I got uncramped a bit. So, nah, they're dilapidating people's psychology. There's some sick bastards and bitches. If my French bothers you, then so be it. Because there's no reason not to use that kind of words with those people. So we need Donald Trump to appoint the first U.S. fire chief. That's going to be a very nice mission for him. He's going to enjoy that if we can get that going. right? And the Senate and the House can pass some stuff on that funding. Eventually, it'll develop into a super artificial intelligence system. Right? And then I figured the 6 regions. Now, we might want a 7th region, and we can, do a Hawaii, Guam. Is Guam part of us? I can't remember. But Hawaii, the Marshall Islands, all that stuff over there, and then and Alaska. So probably want 7 deputy chiefs. Right. One of them will be the offshore stuff. Right. Maybe even, I guess I can even give him. Yeah, it'd probably be interesting. That'd be interesting. Probably give him Puerto Rico too. So give him Puerto Rico, Hawaii, Alaska. Right. I don't know. It's kind of split, but I guess Puerto Rico can be put in the southeastern region. Right. It's north, southeastern, northeastern, northern Midwest, southern Midwest, northwest, and southwest. Right. I mean, we could put more regions in if we wanted to, but that seemed like a good number. And again, it's not the idea of taking over something. It's the idea of enhancing. We need coordination. We need aviation. Again, the states will be part of it, and their aviation assets will be requested also. Right. So again, the idea is that the oversight is intelligent enough so that you don't have to be worried more than you need to be. Right. At this point, everybody, like Utah is sitting there with some red zones, a lot of red zones. Again, I just off the cuff said the southwest where the Native American reservations are, and that's not the only region, but that's part of their fire zone right now. So I may have received something psychically. Native American people. Right. No, I knew the system would work, and I see it even better now. Right. Now we need a U.S. fire chief. We need the number one person that's, again, we have a fire administrator, and no disrespect to her or her position, but I said years ago, and again, I've went after this thing 3 or 4 times. Again, we need an operational unit. Right. Uh, well, I'm sure it would have happened. They'd have moved in at least 2, tankers. Right. They've been sitting. They would be sitting at LAX. That's how God shows things. Like, oh, see, right from LAX, you can see the fire. Why weren't there, U.S. fire chief and U.S. NORAD, fire NORAD, moving the aviation assets in and having a couple tankers sitting there right on the tarmac in LAX within view. That thing takes off, takes that thing out. Right. What are these aircraft? They de Havilland, aren't they? For these things. Fire tanker refillable. Probably might want to focus in that direction. Super scoopers. Right. Remind me of something called the Havilland. They call them the super scooper. Super scooper. So, well, they're very versatile. Again, we're like in the dark ages still. Makes no sense. DEI or no DEI. There, right. There's no reason that fire was allowed to get out of control. Now, I'm not blaming the mayor. I'm not blaming the governor because the system I'm speaking about doesn't exist yet. But there's no reason that it doesn't. And the people that attack my life are some of the people you should blame, or I could stay after it a lot, much better, and I could actually project it much better. They don't care, man. They really don't care about people. All they care about is their scam, their crookedness, and their serial killing. Fan base survey. Weirdos. Bunch of weirdos. So I wanted to buy a certain type of rice from Walmart, and I didn't realize that they can speak to you while you're ordering from Walmart. I paid a lot of money to have it delivered very quick, but I didn't realize you could tell them, hey, anything, don't buy. They bought me the great value variety instead of the from India basmati rice. Oh. I'm not angry or anything because hey, that's something I can give to charity. I don't think down of it, but I'm trying. The Lord said I got to eat basmati rice. Right. Well, it's very simple to develop these type of operations. So we would see a lot of deployment up and down the western seaboard, most likely. Probably see the majority of what we would see. I mean, there's still other places, but and the idea is not to let the fire get to the point where we all run to the fire because we need to help put it out. Correct, Larry. Excellent. No, I've been tortured for years. These are some sick people. They're heinous uh, efforts and decades long reign of terror needs to be ended ASAP. Because God's on his way to end it for everyone. If they don't end by the use of government force, as it was supposed to be from the beginning. Right. I'll help you fight those fires, but there's no doubt that the type of people who live in Pacific Palisades are evil. And I'm not just talking about gay people or something like that. And I'm actually not speaking about that. 100%. Does Mr. Kroll have a place in the Pacific Palisades? Wouldn't be surprised. Thank you, Larry. That one house that survived. There's a feature that I'm trying to figure out if it's a fact. Okay, if you look on the left and the right side of that house, there are balconies. I don't know what the inside looks like there. And again, they don't know what the inside looks like. It could be wasted on the inside. Everything could be melted. Right. But the question is how is it? Are they hallways? Are they big open rooms? Like what is the inside structure? There may have been like if they're hallways that surround the outside of that building on each floor, that could have gave it kind of an air bubble buffer. Right. There may be something to the structure, the interior structure, that also allowed it to not heat up beyond a certain point. 100%. Correct. And again, of course, the fire retardant or fireproof roof was very important, most likely, because maybe that's what took out the other ones, that the roof wasn't fire retardant or fireproof. Right. Well, like I said earlier today, that there was a connection, a big connection, and everybody connected, and they said, whether that water existed or not, uh, that initial day or 2 days, it just would have prolonged the misery. Right. It just there was nothing in place to actually fight it. Now, what would be in place to fight it is what I'm describing. Right. Again, getting into ground floor and utterly overkill and destroy the fires because the conditions are going to cause what it did cause or something similar. Correct. Agree, sir. Well, again, artificial intelligence, drones, air mobility. So essentially, you're using technology that the military uses and has developed over the years and strategies, and you're applying it to fire with fire science. That's really all you're doing. I mean, it's just like from a military standpoint, from a military strategic standpoint, you all look stupid. I mean, it's like you're living in the dark ages. You're not even using like physical technology that's available. I think it's beatable. I think with the system I'm speaking about, well, a year from now will be if we start now, a year from now will be completely different. Again, Trump has to get in there. Trump has to approve it. Get the House and the Senate to fund. Right. I mean, some already there. The U.S. administrator and the U.S. higher administration is there, but we need a portion of that to be operational. We need a NORAD. We already got satellites that we can use that are up there. It's a matter of tuning them in. And then Elon probably has some stuff, and we got his people involved. Imaging is, the different types of imaging is very important. Again, we could do it from drones, but if we can get some satellite going, that'd be nice. Now I can see it, man. When I see it like this, I know the Lord's showing me that it works. I can see the thing from initiation of a small fire to the activation and deploy AX ready to go before. And again, maybe you could develop a system in California to do that, but again, we need to get with it and get to the bigger picture. 100%. So I think this is something that Gavin Newsom and Donald Trump can sit down together and stop the name calling and really help strategize the system. Like I said, those that be in California in the morning fighting a fire, and by noon they're up in Oregon, and by afternoon they're over in Washington D.C. or Washington State. Again, I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but that could happen. Again, let's say you have eight of a certain type of aircraft. Two up in Washington, two in Oregon, two down in two in California, two doing something somewhere else, and then you have the state and locals also operating. But the system will know that they exist and that they can be called upon if they're releasable. But again, once the artificial intelligence system, once even before the artificial intelligence system, once we move intelligently, then people aren't going to worry about that aircraft as much because they know that everybody's got everybody's back. It isn't the idea that okay, we're going to have a big fire and we all got to respond, and people are going to drive up from Texas and drive over from. I mean that's going to be a thing of the past. Hopefully, we still can do it, but well, because we're responding and versus we're not proactive. We're responding. Well, first off, AI or even I mean even people now, like everybody knew, right? that this thing was going to that this condition was going to exist. That's the first part. So then you turn your eyes on the location where the condition is going to exist. Your eyes and your assets, your big money making assets. You know, like the what do they call it, the super soaker or whatever it is. What is this thing called? Yeah, the super scoop. You turn your super scoopers on. Right. So again, you're still in the dark ages. That's why really the Palisades fire happened. But why are you in the dark ages? Because you're evil. Evil begets evil. I can't do anything better than anyone else, but I got God and I'm not evil. No matter how many times you get me to go off on you. I notice you don't want to touch me anymore, do you? 100%. They were metaphysically touching. So we have the answers. We have the capability. Again, you know, uh, we don't have to cut one meal to decrease what we spend on food subsidies. There's ways around all of this. Good people in government are corrupt. And they're part of that deep state that I speak about. Now, I don't know what you all speak about a deep state, but it doesn't sound like the one I speak about. They're just there crudding up the money. So somebody like me, this is a real disabled veteran, can't get 100% disability from the U.S. Army because they think that would be too much money for me. That's really where they are in their minds. They're very sick. So just a matter of time. I'm going to push it again, and Trump's almost in office. When it? I mean, just don't let them take his mind away. Somebody block him from the stupidity. When I saw him start with that gang shit, I'm like, they took his mind away. It's over. It's over. They took his mind away. Stand by and stand down, or whatever the hell he was saying. I'm like, it's over. He's a nutbag. Now we had a good run there doing, enacting a lot of change. Right? Yeah, no street gangs. Make a U.S. fire service, I guess. Well, we already have the forestry service that has the fire jumpers and all that. I think we employ. So again, we're already in the business. We just need to refine and combine what we have. Again, one of the things I explained, trying to get across to Elon and Vivek, is that we have a lot of things. We just need to put them in the right place. So, like, if you find there's 15 different counselors that do the same thing in the same region, we can put them over three different programs instead of having three different sets of counselors. Right? And we don't want to overwork people, uh, but again, we might be able to, consolidate. So we combine our, that fire forestry service and all the U.S. Fire Administration into a U.S. Fire Service that will work much better for us. Again, they don't have to leave their home agencies or anything like that. We just have a system. A National Guard can be part of it. Right. The National Guard has equipment. I understand that, but we need the person, the U.S. fire chief that is known nationally as the fire chief. Buck stops here. This is the U.S. fire chief. Whether you got DEI or not, whether you have white supremacist male institutionalism, institutionalism or not, we have the U.S. fire chief, whoever that is. The buck stops there. That person's in command. That person wears four or five stars and is commensurate with a military general. And that's just the way it's going to work. Right. Regular. And then you put those assets to work. I mean, believe me, it's going to work, and everybody's going to be happier. Everybody's going to be cared for more. Everybody's going to have things on site before they're needed. I mean, that's the craziness. Well, let's all run to California. I got a fire. I mean, you knew it was going to be fires. Should have ran to California a week prior. Right. Yeah, free hotels, free food. Next thing you know, the federal government's paying $300 a room for fire parties. I mean, don't scumbag that money. Don't be buying homes for people that don't have insurance when they're multimillionaires. You need to. One of the first things you all need to do is institute means testing, because you got to have money to steal money from the government. That's pretty much the way it is today. We need to stop that. The poor people don't get shit, really. I've told you that years ago. And at least you all found some of it. Well, there's people that can't that are being subsidized by the federal government for mansions in North Carolina on the the waterfront because they can't afford insurance. Well, you either sell it or you buy your own insurance, or if it floods, you rebuild it yourself with your own millions and multi-millions. I mean, it's disgusting. Want to give me $300 raise in VA disability, but you're going to subsidize some piece of shit like that. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Larry. So again, when we cut stuff like that, the money's going to be apparent. Don't focus so much on like a deadline. Well, I gotta show that I trimmed $2 trillion by January 19th of next year. Don't focus on that. Just really focus on fixing everything, and it'll just come. Again, if your intentions are well, God will be with you. If your intentions are well, God will be with you. I should be out by all accounts dead decades ago. But because my intentions are well, God is with me. I mean, there ain't no way that I'm 98. I mean, I've been so lazy. 98, 99% O2. I mean, how the hell am I that? One day after getting worried about 96% O2, I'm like, oh, I'm getting old. That's the Lord, man. God does that. Like he tripped out this doctor. I'm laying in bed in the emergency room because what happened was my gas was coming up from my stomach real bad, but we couldn't tell what it was, whether it was heart attack or what. So I'm laying there, and I start, and he looks up, he goes, I mean, you're fine. You got 98% O2, and I start talking to him, just as he says 98% O2, it goes up to 99, and he starts laughing. God did that to him. Right. I had the best set of lungs in the history of the world. Y'all killed me. 100%. Or some of the best, should I say. I mean, they intentionally killed my life and tried to kill me. You're a bunch of sick son of a bitches. I'll tell you that, all of you. Marshal Service is fake, man. They're sex. The only reason they're in sex investigation is because they'll put it on an innocent person and then hide the case when it's a guilty person that they tell them to hide the case. And not that I'm totally against some sort of system that takes care of people in some sort of way, but that bullshit of putting fake cases on people, y'all gonna get a burn in hell for that. Right? Nothing worse than I can think of. Thank you, Lord. So it's going to work, and we need to push it, and Trump needs to push it too. I mean, Trump's the kind of perfect person to put in a U.S. fire chief. Enough of the bullshit. I mean, yeah, it's nice to let state and local people have autonomy, but we need an organization. We need like a joint chiefs of staff. We need the general. We need chain of command. We need people moving assets before the assets are needed, so we don't need to, have a prolonged battle. If we fought wars like you fight fires, we don't win many anyway, but it'd be way worse. Yeah, they're overrunning the base, and then we'll send reinforcements, right? 100%. I'll see it's going to work. I'll see the planes on the tarmac, but they're I'm trying to think what they are. Do they use KC-130s at all, or can we retrofit them? 'Cause I think they're out of service. And there it is, KC-130 water tanker. There it is. Yeah, I'm saying KC-130s. No, I'm actually seeing them. I mean, we could have like 4 or 5 KC-130s. I mean, Air National Guard. Is that what they're trying to do? Have them on a tarmac, ready to go. Fire pops up and they're in the air. Air National Guard, KC-130. Thank you, man. I think I flew on one. I can't remember. I think I did. The MAFFS and MAFs can drop up to 3,000 gallons of retardant in 10 seconds. Okay, Air Force training. Already doing it. What's the date on that? Everything on tarmac. I think it's LAX in the future. Elon should give me money. I don't know why Elon doesn't give me. Does Elon know I exist? I have no idea. I mean, he's used my stuff. His people's used my stuff. Where are those things? Are those things in California? Where are these things at? Where are these U.S. Air Force C-130s? Are they fighting fires right now? Where are they right now? So these are things Trump needs to look at. I mean, if our AC-130 or our KC-130 or C-130 MAFFS systems, the MAP systems, the fire retardant systems aren't in California fighting those fires, what are they doing? Are they just sitting somewhere? I mean, we don't need fire engines from from across the United States beyond a certain point. Correct. when we got things like that sitting around doing nothing? No, they're planning a deep state hit. They're all downtown today going to dinner. I mean, that's really the state of the government and the military. That's really the state of the government and the military. The rest is of they don't fucking care because it doesn't pay them $1 million. That's why they don't care because it doesn't pay them $1 million. Oh, the same way when I was the government. These people couldn't think their way out of a paper bag. But they're the deep state murderers, sexualizers, and assassins running their little sex orgies. Should have let me be in church, all of you. Shouldn't have messed with my church, and you shouldn't mess with church people. Again, I don't hate that Bex woman because I don't think she's part of it. But she'll identify all the sexualized church people and cops. That's a scam, all of you. The people I speak about causing that. So we got it boggles the mind why that wasn't sitting on the tarmac at LAX, and when that fire came up, it should have been in the air. You don't see any aviation assets over that fire, over by, the Palisades fire when it began over by within view of LAX. Right. Again, this is not a mayor issue. This is not a governor issue. It's a national issue. I brought it up years ago with the hot shots. No, we need a real U.S. fire chief wearing that helmet. And, the fire administrator, she looks like a nice woman, probably very knowledgeable. Name's Moore, definitely a good person. Right, she could be like a Mata Hari or a Jezebel, and I don't even know it. Fooling me with the name Moore. But again, we need fire chiefs. We need fire people. We need that look. We need that helmet. I want to see somebody with a helmet telling me what's going on in California, and his title is U.S. Fire Chief. You're not wearing a helmet. You're out of uniform. And of course, he'll deploy to the fire scenes. She'll deploy to the fire scenes. Thank you, Larry. I mean, the fire administration's great, and it'll be part of it. But we're going to expand it to something operational and something real. You know, come on. It's disorganization. You can't blame a mayor. You can't blame a governor because nobody has the system in place. Nobody in the United States, Republican, Democrat, or otherwise, has the right system going because you killed me. That's why you don't have it. Because you sent people to kill me. You stupid son of a bitches. Thank you, Larry. Put me to sleep for years. Absolute freaking garbage. Yeah, Tim Cook got through. I'm on Apple now. No, Tim just said, just do it. Just do it. No questions asked. Just do it. Getting cold feet. It's pretty cool when I speak on the phone to my brother because it sounds like the sound quality is great. I don't know if the S24 is that good. I don't think it is. My S23 is pretty shitty when it comes to sound quality. And again, it could be my other. I changed my phone service. I guess I have to call my brother on my iPad. Yeah, I got cold feet on the iPad, Benny, and keep doing it. Do it. Do it. Keep going. There's a couple things that geeks me out of the iPad iOS system, but I'll get used to it, I guess. 'Cause I do a lot of copy and paste, and definitely copy and paste is easier on Samsung. But if they can hack my phone every day, 50 times a day, it doesn't make any sense, right? So, Yeah, I got the buzz from Amazon. Buy these mouse traps, get that stuff there, get the super bait, use some powdered peanut butter, make it into peanut butter, put the super bait on top. That mouse didn't last probably 15 minutes without grabbing that bait. I felt bad though. The thing looking at me, come on. I hate using a mouse trap, but again, I'm stuck on this planet like everyone else. I'm usually more humane, but again, I'm sick and I'm getting older, and I can't like relocate cockroaches and mice easy as I used to. I used to relocate everything. You see me taking something outside and shooing it away. Now, if I had my money, I probably could do it. My life would have been easier and would be easier. So again, I recommend you pay me, all of you. God's not going to let sit forever. Y'all know you owe me. You know you've owed me. I don't know. I'm just sick of this state. I don't know if it's like that in Missouri or not. If let these people run around with the fake crime cases and fabricate them and harm people with them. It's just disgusting. I mean, it's horrible. When I see like a pedophile case online, when they got those, the amateur pedophile hunters, I know what that is. I mean, I could be wrong, but they different groups of people operate that person until they became a pedophile, harm them psychologically, harm them physically in life until they became a pedophile. I mean, it's disgusting. And they all walk around like they're big because they caught the pedophile. After years of being tortured with an attempt to cause me to become a pedophile, I'm just, and of course, I was cramped for all those years, losing my mind because they did it. And one of their goals was to try to make me a pedophile. They're disgusting. Once I got myself uncramped, my mind came back a little better. I'm like, oh my God, I've been asleep for like 3 years. I could have been living my life. I've been trying to get cough medicine, and apparently they keep acting like everything over the counter is going to cause high blood pressure. So I got a prescription, and there's them little pearls. I can't take those things. My mind is just like defecation as soon as I take them. I'm like, uh. So today I see this, the Lord blessed, and I was able to see that there's stuff over the counter like I thought. Because the stuff over the counter, like I took one dose earlier, and I was still was like, but you can take a half a dose, and I just took a half a dose. So now my cough is suppressed. I didn't want to take it. I'm later. I'm like, well, it'll subside here in a second. I hate that feeling. Right. It's like you're in need. Like you're on drugs. Really, it's like you're on drugs. Right. Right. Yeah. Well, I got half a dose and it worked well. But again, that's them cursing everything. So it was total setup, the whole thing. So, it was crazy as the crazy can be. Again, I don't know I have COVID until the snow hits. Right. Otherwise, I could have got everything in here, including the medicine, to make it go way faster. Apparently, a lot of doctors don't like it. They don't believe in it. Right. I mean, maybe once upon a time, or in certain cases. But like my brother said, his doctor wouldn't. He'd be like, nah. Like my brother was like, caught it real quick. The doctor's like, nah, no way. I guess it's a pretty harsh medicine, and the doctor figures you don't need it. But the one woman was nice. The one woman doctor, she's like, it's going to cut them symptoms and the length way down. You'll see, it'll work real good. Right. My symptoms never really got horrible. Right. I mean, like a small window. Right. But I really didn't medicate it heavy in the beginning, so I had some fever. But I swear to God, the first high fever I got, and my thermometer, I knew my thermometer was wrong at that point. It was like probably like 102 real quick. It just went. "Wah." I could feel it amping up. I'm like 2 degrees. I'm like, woo! And then like every symptom in my body just went boom and was gone. Besides the fever, I'm like, what did it kill? Would it kill it? So what happened is my antibodies went out and attacked. Right, that's what happens to your body when that happens. It was like it was like a skirmish. Now it didn't kill COVID, but it screwed it up. It screwed it up pretty bad. COVID was like, what was that? What was that? Apparently, that's part of what it is. The fever is a disruption. Right. Part of the effect of a fever disrupts the virus. And the anti what do they call it? The antibody attack, right? But then COVID battled back. I'm like, oh, I'm sick again. By God and the angels here in the initial days. Right. That's a couple days worth of them. I mean, God's here, but there was this presence, like for 24 hours, because they were. I guess I imagine that they were. I was being metaphysically attacked. Right. They were trying to screw my mind around. So the angels were here, and they're just it was like I mean, it was peace that transcends any understanding whatsoever. Just the peace. I was like, oh. See, now they're killing the voice. Restructure that. Oh. Satan's the devil, and so are his minion. Next month, I got to pick up the pieces and make sure that I'm not out. I'm not back in debt. I just got out of debt. Right. You see what they did, right? Um, Now, the Lord's trying to say, don't return anything you buy that you think you don't need. Anything that you think you don't need, that you truly don't need, give to charity. It's like my order tonight was supposed to be basmati rice, and it wasn't. So again, I have a 20-pound bag of long grain rice, which would work well for any type of charity situation. Like where I used to live in Santa Fe before they really killed my life, right? I would know people that needed it, and I'd just walk down the hall and say, "Here, feed your kids." Right. I miss that part. I like living in a poor area. It's just that they kept killing me, and there was no way to succeed. I wanted to meet a woman and have a normal life, and I thought I could do that if I moved. Right. Well, because I saved people's lives. I know I did that while I was there, and I made sure people that had passed on were found. In some cases, and they could be buried and taken out of the property before they before they became something that it shouldn't be. Again, within 24 hours, I knew that this one man was dead. I I forget what I said. I forget. It was so weird. I saw him, and then he went into his room, and then that was it. But I knew something was up. His his television was on. I didn't know him that much. He would do pizza delivery. He used to own a pizza place. and then he would do pizza delivery because he'd use that money to go to Albuquerque to go golfing. Right. It was like a slush fund. It keeps him busy, you know. But he smoked a lot and all that. And probably ate fatty foods all the time. Right. But that's kind of things in life that you're happy to be that there for that person. I mean, when somebody passes on and they're alone, it's nice that God can send you a nudge and say, something's up with that guy there. Like the other guy I missed, the Native American dude. No, I can't remember if that was suicide or not. But that he decomposed pretty well before they found him. But I saw him go up to his room right before the last day. But yeah, I almost stayed, but I just couldn't go through it anymore. What they were doing to me in Santa Fe, and I thought I'd never dreamt that it would continue on in Oklahoma. Right? They actually said sign to me, and it was false sign that they knew I was coming, and you know Mr. Pence had sent a message along with my message. So it was all scam on social media. That's all I wanted to meet a woman, be married, and I could live anywhere with a woman. I really could. And again, my I had a nice. What happened is my studio apartment flooded, and they moved me into another one, and that one had really good new windows, which is what I needed, right? Because I had allergies, and of course it helped keep it cool and warm. And then I built that Torah Arc wall. So it wasn't a bad place to be because it was a very it looked very nice based upon that kind of work. I had not yet figured out how to get rid of cockroaches though. And those kind of buildings had cockroaches. And I think if I'd have known to just buy a bunch of those combat traps and got rid of them, I may not have left. Again, there were several factors, and that was one of them. But again, when they're harassing you, you lose the fight to stay someplace. Right. But I had a neighbor woman who was married to she was a New Mexican Latina woman, and she was married to an Ecuadorian immigrant who didn't speak much English, if any. Right. And she'd always need a little bit of money here or there, $10, $20. And I'd tell her, you don't have to repay me. Just, if you can, you do. If you can't, you don't. If I had excess change, I'd throw it at her, like, $10 and change or something. And here, get the kids some candy. She had, they didn't have any kids, but they had nephews and nieces, and they were always over. So again, I had a good life when it came to helping people. I'm not worried about that. I am upset that they destroyed that life that I had like that. Right. Well, yeah, if I had $20 worth of long grain rice that I didn't want, I'd just take it to a neighbor and they'd feed their family with it. Well, the point is, like, I could dream of some woman and say, "Well, I'll stay and try to meet her," but it would never happen because once I try to do it, then they get in the middle of it. That's a scam. And also, there was this older man, and I don't know what his history was for sure, but he was there, and there was a bunch of like younger people, and they were like running him out of the building and accusing him of stuff. And to me, he looked like just your standard Santa Fe old timer, right? And I swore not to be that guy. I swear I was not going to be that guy. Right. I mean, and there was, I mean, a lot of stress living in places, a lot of narcotics use, lots of HIV. I had a neighbor had HIV. He ended up dying of a narcotics overdose. He just couldn't handle life. I mean, beautiful girlfriend. Again, eventually he figured out that he gave her HIV. And then one day he was dead. Fairly young guy. Good looking guy. Well, there is a God in heaven, and he's going to make sure you all pay for what you've done.